Hey everybody, welcome back. Richie here from RW Hobbies. Part number 4 now of my Tamiya 48 scale F-14B Bombcat build. Now, in this part, we're going to do the main fuselage assembly. So by the end of the episode, spoiler alert, we'll be at this stage. Looking pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're back at it. 4 parts in on this now, and as you can see from my tray here, we've been quite busy in the first 3 parts, so if you haven't followed those videos, check back. I think 1 was the exhaust, 2 was the ordnance, and 3 we did the cockpits up and various parts. So that's what we've got built up already in this tray, keeping them safe. And now we're going to continue and start building on the main fuselage. So we're going to skip straight through. Well, we obviously done parts up to parts 5 already. So we're going to go number 6, which is the nose landing gear bay. So we're going to build up the gear bay, fits onto the bottom of the cockpit tub, which we built already. And we're going to sandwich it in between the 2 fuselage front sections here. Again, paying attention, we're following C. For the Bombcat, which is B, C is the most aligned out of variants on this kit. So C, parts, and on this one too, we have the wings. We'll probably go the wings extended. So we don't have a choice in this kit. The wings are only extended. Dirty configuration. I do have the D kit though inside, which has the wings which can go back and forth, which we could switch around. The parts are interchangeable, but I think I'll just stick with the parts in this kit and we'll do the extended dirty wing configuration. So that being said, I'm going to start clipping off these parts, getting this put together, and we'll be right back. Okay, so a little work going on here. Got the 2 side pieces here, the fuselage. Put in a ½ ounce of nose weight. Don't think you need it with this one, but I just want to be safe. So threw in ½ ounce, and as always, I like to use the Gorilla Clear Glue. This is really good stuff. It takes a little bit to go off, a couple of hours maybe, but usually my last thing I do in the evening before I go to bed and leave the studio is just put a little splodge of this down, throw my nose weight in, and in the morning it's good to go. So obviously I did test fit and make sure it wasn't impeding with any other areas. Put in the panel here. We used M24. Again, we're using the C variant. There's 3 different types of panel here, depending on which version you're doing. And the only thing I need to check on, which I'll check on tonight and follow up on, is this sticker right here, which is it's called a panel sticker. It goes over the this area right here. It goes around it, and I'm not sure exactly if you apply it and then paint over it, or you paint it and it goes on at the end. I'm assuming with the color, I'm assuming it goes on first, and you just adds like an area and you just paint over it. I'm 99% sure, but I'm going to verify that, and I'll get back to you in the next little segments. Put this together, no problem at all. Follow the instructions, and typical Tamiya, as always, perfect fit, no problem at all. Just heads up on this one. This part goes in before you put the sides in. This kind of gets wedged in between, and this piece here faces forward towards me, and this here, which you stick on the side, that there's like a little indent, and that glues in there as well. And then when you have the rest of the nose gear assembly, it kind of clamps it in place. So that's how that's looking. There is some detail painting to be done in there. I'm just going to probably paint it and then hand paint it and get in there pretty easily. And then obviously this is going to fit. Where are we at here? This is going to fit like this and glue in place, which we'll do in a little bit. So that's kind of caught you up to speed where we're at. Got that dry, let nose weight dry overnight. Check out the panel ID. Also, I'll check some reference materials. I think there's a couple of little areas here we need to fill in as well for the B version. So just want to check some reference material on that as well. And then we'll come back and sandwich it all together. Okay, so we've got it put together, drying. The glue should be dry by now. Just going to remove these friction clamps. And there we go. So quick point here. These locating points on the bottom here. It's just when you glue it together, just check underneath. Mine was slightly out, so misaligning at the front. So no problem at all. Just clicked it all into place. It fit perfectly. And as you can see, I applied that sticker, this panel sticker number A. And obviously put these panels in first. And then put stick around it, makes it a little bit easier. And being on a catapult, all this stuff's going to be closed up. No problem at all. Now this one's actually a better fit on this one than the A. I built a couple of Tamiya A's, and the This panel right here normally has a little bit of a gap you have to fill, but this one actually fits pretty nicely on this version. Now, fixing the nose, the seam line there, just real quick, I'm just take a Citadel scraper. Excuse my messy fingers. Just going to run it down a couple of times. Then I'm going to take a Infinity sanding sponge, start with 220 grit. And then finish off with 600. And we should be good. Oh, and there's a bit of a seam line back here, but that's going to be hidden, obviously, into the fuselage. Just going to remove any of the raised parts of glue, just so it fits, slides in nicely. And there we go. So one other thing to add is this part here goes on the back around the cockpit tub, and this is obviously painted black. As always, my favorite black is Mr. Servicer 1500 black. Just, you see there's just a really nice finish and kind of like a satiny finish. Just looks really cool. And this piece is basically going to slot under here and fit like so. So I'm just going to glue it in place. In a minute off camera, then we're going to move on with the build, and we are going to move on to part number 10. So take care of all of this stuff. Again, add this part in before you put the two fuselage halves together, and also this little panel goes inside the gun barrel. All right, 10, we're actually going to fix the wings. So again, this wings out catapult configuration. The nice thing is the wings just slide on and off of this main kind of bracket assembly, so we paint them separately. So we'll go ahead and screw all this together, build it with these wings on the out position, obviously, as I mentioned, on the catapult, and then we get moving into the intakes. Okay, so put this together, and I do love with Tamiya how you get screws and stuff with this. Fits absolutely perfectly as you expect. So basically, E25 goes below, like the cone goes below the wing section here. This wing bracket thing goes on top. The two outer ones, you have washers, and basically these 4 screws are the same size. I think they're 6mm, and the front one's 8mm, and the back one's 4mm. So basically, long screw goes on the front, short screw goes in the back, and the other 4 all go along the side here. Now, I would note in the instructions, it doesn't have anything going into these holes. It's not marked, but you have 2 extra screws and you have the holes there, so I don't know why you wouldn't just use those screws. So I did just screw those in as well. So it's pretty secure there. So that's how that's done. And I did notice, the keen-eyed of you might know, well, firstly, the poly caps you want to put to the side, because we need those later for the horizontal stabs. Back in the box. I have 4 cockpit side panels there, and we've glued the cockpit together. So in my haste, I put the cockpit tub in, and I forgot to put the side panels on. So 2 things there. We can either break this thing apart and glue them in, or we'll just leave them out. And to be honest, at this point, I'm just going to leave them out because this is all glued nicely, seam lines removed. And the fact I'm using pilot figures, you can't see down there. I'm going to have the canopy down. It's going to be on the catapult. You're not going to see in under there. Fortunately it's hidden. So don't be like me. Take a little bit of time and make sure you glue these panels on, because we did spend time painting all this up, and these guys are obviously going to be left off now. Because my stupidity. Now you're not supposed to just like weigh in the instructions, but I did go ahead and glue these glare shields on. Easy fit. 2 holes go straight in there, and some tabs on this one too. Perfect fit as expected, and you'll hear this a lot for this build. Everything is going to be hopefully perfect fit. So that's how we're looking. That's we're all put together. That front section's done. I'll put this to the side, and we'll continue working with this. So now we've got that screwed in. We're going to work on the intakes. We get the intakes put in, and then we'll sandwich the 2 kind of fuselage parts together. As you can see, we got this put together. So it clamped up. So basically just glued the sides here for this top piece. Around the back piece, I glued the back in place, and as you can see, this bit here isn't glued. So I thought, you know what, there's normally a bit of a seam line here. It should be slightly raised, I think. But let me just kind of get lined up, and I can kind of fettle it a little bit up into position. with my fingers here, just to kind of squeeze it in place. So take some extra thin. Just going to run it down the seams, and then I'm just going to like use my finger just to kind of squeeze it into place. Hold it for a few seconds so it dries, and then felt like I heard something splitting, but I think we're good. And there we go. That's the back end done. Now we're also going to have the intakes and stuff underneath, but I'm looking for the front section here, and just show you what a great fit it should be. And there you go. Absolutely fantastic. There you go. Obviously, we'll glue that in later on, but just to show you how well this thing fits together, it's amazing, the engineering. So I'm going to let this dry off a little bit and then sand down the seams. And then we're going to move on to the intakes. It's nice because you actually get some masking, so you can actually mask it off, get the masking templates in here, and build the intakes. The intakes are going to go on, and then we'll go up to end of 19. So basically, what we'll do is get the intakes, get all this put together, get the front married up to the back, get the panel on, and then we obviously done the exhaust already earlier on in part number 1. So that'll be it for today, I think, for this episode. So I'm going to take care of this. I'll get these cut off, the intake parts, and we'll get those painted up and installed. All right, so a lot going on here. My desk is full of stuff, and let's walk through it. So firstly, painted these white on the inside. That's pretty straightforward. These guys, the intakes, again, painted white on the inside. Now, before I painted anything white, I first of all sprayed it Mr. Sosa 1500 black as a primer, and I go white on top of black. That's just the way I like it. And these are sprayed on the inside. Now, I did use my white display gap filling, BPO2, and just add a drop down and let it run down, basically, and fill the gaps, or seam lines, should I say. Not that the seam lines are very visible on this, because they are pretty well hidden on the side. This is built very well, so you can't really see the seam lines. But I just did a quick touch of this, just again, ran it down, let it dry a couple of hours, then primed and painted those guys. As you can see, my hands are pretty messy right now. So that's that bit done. Talk about what else I've done while I'm at it. I've also assembled and painted the tails black for my scheme, as you can see here. Again, this is the scheme we're going for. So these guys painted black, and again, Mr. Service of 1500 black, and then I came back with Tamiya LP65 rubber black and just kind of mottled in to create like a little bit of worn kind of effect. So that's the tails done. These guys are painted separately too, which go underneath. Again, these are black and saves masking, just paint separately. Same deal, 1500 black primed with some LP65 mottled in, just to create a weathering effect. So that's that bit done. I'll put these back real quick. And then also built the horizontal stabilizers and primed these. Again, 1500 black. Now with some white I left in the gun, I just took my AK Extreme Metals flexible mask, stenciling mask, held it on top, sprayed it white, and then give it a little misting coat to blend it all in. And this is like my pre-shading. So my gray will go on top of this. So just a pre-shading coat creates some visual interest, I think. So these guys, again, this is primed, stabilizers, just two-piece glued together. No problem at all. Next up, masks. So it's one of those jobs where it's probably better just to cut it out. So I took my mask set, which isn't die cut, and scanned it in my computer, put it in my Cricut machine, and as you can hear in the background, it just finished cutting it. And it cut me basically my, well, seeing that it's the wrong size. So yeah, it's one of those deals where I thought, you know what, quick and easy, I'll just scan it in, cut it my printer, and then I got a mask set ready to go. But it didn't quite work out that way. So it's another one of those projects where, you know, try and make things simpler, but probably just to cut it out. So I'll just cut these out with a pair of scissors. I'm not very good with a knife, I'm easy with scissors. So I'll just cut these out, and we need these 4 masks. to mask the inside here, the white, which will spray grey over the top for the outside of the intake right there. And finally, let's talk about the blades that go inside the intake. So they are gunmetal, which I use my Super Iron 2 from Mr. Hobby, the Super Metallics. Where are we? This is my go-to kind of steel color, 203. So I painted it that, let it dry, and then these center bits are white. So I thought, you know what? Let's get this machine out my Space Circle color. I've not used this in forever. So basically what I did was just took my digital calipers, measured until it was like 6.4 millimeters. And then on here, just changed it to 3.2, because obviously it's half. And then just laid it on some masking tape and whisked it around, created a hole, took the hole off, and used it as a stencil. And just sprayed the white on top. So if you see below, you can see we've got a perfectly white top with a silver, well, iron color underneath. So that's how I did those. Typically, I mask them by hand. I don't know why I've done that when I have all this, equipment I can use, these tools. So yeah, so display cutter for the win. Super easy. Just ran it around, a couple of circles cut out. Like I said, a nice little kind of template for me to paint there. And whew, that pretty much brings you up to speed. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I want to give this guy another quick coat of white, and then let all this dry overnight, and we'll start masking it up and painting the rest of it. It's the following morning, and as you can see, we're all painted up. So I painted the inside with the fuselage color, and these guys are all painted too, and assembled. And we'll say using the masks, which actually very nice, it comes in the masks, it was really hard to kind of get the mask in there. So normal tweezers is really difficult, but I did find with my usual, these must be my #1 favorite tool, the Tamiya decal tweezers. Worked really good actually to hold the masking and try to manipulate it in to get it in place. But it was kind of hard to get them in there. But anyway, we did it, looking good. And I'll move the light around a little bit. You can kind of see down there. Now I will point out though, now I remembered, I think the fan blades are in this kit are for the A+. I don't have the fan blades for the B, which may be slightly different. So just purists out there, just note that if you're doing a pure B, you might need different fan blades. Get the plastic parts from Tamiya, from the D version. Again, I'm not so care. I want to do some things here and there. We'll make it look like a B, but if it's slightly off, like wrong fan blades, it's not going to ruin my weekend. Now, the parts I've got in front here, the metallic parts, I always leave those off to the end. We'll paint the whole aircraft. At the very end, we'll just paint them separately and attach them with some super glue. Way easier than trying to mask and paint around it. So these should fit really well. Now, typically, it's normally you don't need any glue. It fits so well, and you just basically click fit. So let me see here. If I can line this up where it needs to go. Actually, I had the wrong one. This one. Just kind of carefully lining it up. And there, wait. Wow, there we go. Look at that. No glue. Absolutely perfect fit. As you see, I just clicked that in place. And all you need to do now is basically take the correct one. I'm not sure if this is the right one for this side. And then glue these in place over the top. But yeah, as you can see, zero glue and absolutely perfect fit. So try the other side real quick. Oh. Click, click, click. Oh. Drop it on the floor. Again, just going to line it up. Get in the back. This one's not quite going in on that side. Let's see here. There we go. Just needs a little bit of fettling. Oh. Click, 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 and there we go. Perfect. Seamless intakes. Now I might just run a bit of glue on the outside here or on the edge, but yeah, typically you don't really need any glue here. I said the fit is absolutely perfect. As you can see, we got it together, and not bad at all. Absolutely pretty perfect, to be honest with you. A few things to note on this, and that is I put the wrong doors in. So the instructions call for K14 and 15. Is it K14? Yeah, K14 and 15, the engine doors. But actually, for my reference material, that for a B, you got to use M. So that you got the M sprue in the box. So you have the ones M. As you can see, the here looks slightly different. This one has like the two, or the four little kind of indents on there. So M sprue for the two engine doors. And yeah, I did glue in, so I had to get them off. Pain in the ass. Also, it asks to remove for B. I can't remember where I did it now. Back here somewhere, there was a couple like raised details just sanded off on this panel. It's in the instructions. And lastly, if I remember, I put a reference picture up. Back here on these two areas, there's two little panels I sanded off. Again, very small, you can barely see them, but for a B, I removed those two. Oh yeah, here we go, instructions. You can see the instructions. If I zoom in a little here, move this out of the way. This one right here is what you're sanding off on the back. Just following instructions, and again, everything on here we're following C. So super simples, C for everything in the instructions, and again, using M, not the K sprue for these parts, for these, and just sanding those two panels off. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So looking pretty good. I'm just going to run through this, and I think we're almost done with the main assembly. So I'll run through this, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the video. All right, so as you can see, we are pretty much assembled. In terms of today's video, just put the front clear part on, obviously masked up from the front using the set that comes in this kit. And on the inside center window, I painted it light misting of clear blue per the instructions. Now I always thought it was green, so the instructions said blue, so I trust them and go with that. Just masked the inside off, sprayed it, and then applied the outside. Apologize here the background noise. The neighbor's having a tree cut down, so I decided to fire the chainsaw up. But nevertheless, there we go. Looking fantastic. This panel here with the for the probe, refueling probe came loose. Fortunately, I could remove this and stuck it back in. So if I was going to build again, I'd probably put a little bit of reinforcement plastic art behind it to stop it pushing in. Part E2, which is this little antenna right here, glued down in place and cut it off and sanded it per the instructions, because also we're doing C. And E2 cut away after attaching, so you're basically just filling the gap. And that's really about it. So I think we're good shape. Obviously on this one, the wings are fixed. They don't go backwards and forwards for some reason. And we're looking good. Couple of things, again, end this. You know what? I'm going to keep these little templates I made for the fan blades. I'm going to put them in my D kit, because I'm going to use them again when I build the next Tamiya F-14. And talking about fan blades, again, disclaimer, I know these are the wrong type for this, these engines, for the B engines. That's the A fan blades in the front. But I don't have any others, and I don't really want to reach out to Tamiya and pay for some. So for me, that's fine. But if you're a purist, you're going to want to put different fan blades in there, I guess. Second thing is, I found out during the filming of this video that the scheme, we said it was all dark ghost gray all over it. It turned out, after looking at some reference pictures in the actual year of this aircraft, the actual time period, this one actually is dark ghost gray on the top and dark and light ghost gray on the bottom. So we've obviously painted this in dark, so I just need to touch up with light, which is not a big deal. It's just a couple of shades off. And same deal with the stabilizers, which we've painted. I've painted off camera too. I've done dark ghost gray on both sides and mottled it with light gray. I just need one side. I just need to dial it back and paint it light ghost gray to match the underside. What else to talk about? Again, these guys are all painted up, ready to go. Perfect fit. Oops, dropping it on the floor. So when time comes, perfect fit. Just need to paint the front a little bit black as well later on. But these will be decaled and weathered and stuff separately, and then at the very end I'll just put them in the spot. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of assembly, but actually went together a dream, no problems at all. Looking pretty awesome, as you see. And next week, or whenever next part goes up, probably in 2 weeks, I will do the wings. So the wings are going to be a lot of work because they're going to be dirty configuration. It's going to be a catapult. They're going to be out, flaps down, all that kind of stuff, and a lot of painting like the red in between and various things. So wings will be a whole episode, and again, we'll do that next time. So thank you for watching as always. A lot of people aren't subscribed to my channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out, encourages me to make more videos. Also, I do have a Patreon account. The link is below, and a lot of my stuff goes early access, and some behind the scenes stuff goes on my Patreon account. Tons of stuff on there you can watch as well. So yeah, thanks. Have a good one. See you next time. Goodbye.